Hey guys, Eli here. Wanted to show you a new toy that I got over the weekend, and today was the first day I threw with it on. So I received Driveline's pulse sensor on Saturday and long tossed with it today. I'm going to hop back and forth between a couple websites to explain what it is and what it does. So per Driveline's website, the sensor collects throwing biomechanics data to tailor your warm-up, throwing program, and pitch counts every day. So it's going to act as a pitch counter, but it's going to do much more than that. Its primary function is to measure elbow stress. So elbow stress in the form of varus torque at the elbow. So hopping over to another Driveline article or page on their website to explain this. So the stress that occurs during this time in the arm cocking position is called valgus stress, which in turn is going to cause an equal reaction of varus torque at the elbow. So in the arm cock position, shortly before max external rotation, the arm is experiencing varus torque. In this position, peak elbow varus torque is 99 plus or minus 17 Nm, no clue what that means. But in layman's terms, that's the equivalent of holding roughly a 55-pound weight in your hand at that instant. So that varus torque is often the peak torque placed on the elbow, and it's up to the UCL, the ulnar collateral ligament, that's the Tommy John's ligament, and the surrounding musculature, so your forearm muscles, to support that load. So in addition to acting as a pitch counter, the pulse sensor is going to track elbow torque on every throw that you make. So this is the pulse dashboard on a computer. I'll do a separate video showing you what the pulse dashboard looks like on the iPhone app. I personally like the desktop or laptop dashboard better. But it shows you elbow torque, arm speed, arm slot, and shoulder rotation. So this is my throwing session from today. You can see over here in the calendar it says 78 throws. I actually threw 90 throws. My first couple of throws were at 30 feet. I typically don't start at 30 feet, but when I set up the Pulse app on my phone, Driveline suggested to start at 30 feet, which I will not do moving forward. I didn't have enough torque or movement at a 30-foot throw to even register the sensor. So it started picking them up at the 60-foot mark, but you can see there's tags. So up here in this tag section, it will tell you what type of throw it was. So this is a 60-foot long toss. As you scroll out, it goes from 90 to 120 to 150 to 180 to 210 to 240 and 270. So I stopped my long toss session at 270 feet today. And for each one of these throws, it's showing you torque, arm speed, arm slot, and shoulder rotation. Taking this data over a period of time, this pulse sensor is going to calculate your AC ratio, your acute to chronic workload ratio. So the acute to chronic workload ratio was created by Dr. Tim Gavitt, who studied rugby players and basically created this to assess injury risk associated with change in workload. So Driveline took this principle, took this theory, applied it to baseball, applied it to stress on the arm, and the pulse sensor helps you manage or understand your AC ratio, and it alerts you when you get outside of the recommended limits, which indicates an increased risk of injury. So really, really cool tool. I don't have enough data in here yet to produce an accurate AC ratio. So AC ratio, the A in the AC ratio, acute, is over a 7-day period. This was my first day using the pulse sensor, so clearly I don't have 7 days of data. And then your chronic workload is over a 28-day period, a 4-week period. So I don't have enough data to calculate an AC ratio yet. So when you see the video of the iPhone application, the overview of the iPhone application, it will have an AC ratio in there, but it's not accurate because, again, not enough data. But I called in today to get some support in terms of understanding this data. I called Driveline, and they said that I walked them through my throwing day, said, hey, look, I long tossed out to 270 feet. What does this look like? And they said it looks like a high-level college or professional pitcher, so that was good. But really awesome to be able to see this, to have this information. I want to show you one more thing real quick. Let me slide this in here. So it shows you arm slot. So my arm slot decreases, the angle of my arm decreases as my intent or intensity, my effort increases. So when I'm lobbing the ball at 60 feet, just trying to get the arm movement, I have more of an overhand arm slot. So you see 63, 65, 66, 67 degrees. And if you jump over here, that's a high 3/4 arm slot. Probably not 3/4. That's almost an overhead arm slot. So I'm just kind of getting the arm moving to get it loose, get a feel for the ball. But as my intent increases, my arm slot drops. So you can see it dropping 40s, 39s, 40s. And when we get out here to 240 feet, 270 feet, I'm down, 30, 34, 35. This one right here, this was my last throw of the day. This one went over 300 feet. I put a little extra on it. It went over 300 feet. I have it tagged as 270 because that's where I set my marker. But it went over a little over 300 feet, and I was at a 34-degree arm slot. So if you jump over here to this graph, I'm about right here. So I am a low 3/4 arm slot, and that's where I've always been. So really cool to understand that, and really cool to see it play out in reality. But this is a really, really cool device that will help me understand my workload if I become fatigued. So there's this fatigue. You can click on metrics up here, see your metrics. You can also click on fatigue and see your fatigue. It takes the Driveline representative I spoke with said give it about 3 weeks to actually get an accurate fatigue data. But you can see here these drops. I think this may have been where I was chasing my balls to pick up balls. I'm not quite sure. Again, there's not enough data in here to even really look at this point. You can also see high effort. So I had 4 high effort throws today. Shows you where your arm slot is on your high effort throws. Shows you where your torque is, your arm speed, and your shoulder rotation. So I had 4 high effort throws, and that high effort is being defined by the amount of torque that sensor is sensing on your elbow. So you wear this pulse device. Let me see if I have a picture of it. Yep, so it's this little band. Here's the sensor. You slip this sensor into this blue sheath, and then you wear this band 2 finger widths below your elbow, so on your forearm. And this torque is measured by the elbow torque that sensor is detecting on your elbow. So really cool. I'm really excited to get a lot more data in here and track this. It helps track pitch counts how many throws, historical throws. I do this on my Facebook page, but this is all in one dashboard. It will also help me create a more customized throwing program once I get the data in here and see when I get fatigued, kind of push my limits and see when I get fatigued. So really cool product. I'll have more on this, more insight into this once I get more data in here, but wanted to show you guys the new toy that I got that I'm pretty excited about.